Welcome back to the middle of nowhere. All right, I'm here to talk about a book review this month. I guess not this month. It's our buddy read of the month with the group that I always do the buddy read with. We did have a few extras join us. Thanks to Craig, Athena, and Quinn for joining in with this buddy read. It was an indie published book, and it was pretty entertaining. We read Wrath of Olympus, Book 1 in the Ships of Brittania by E.M. Kula. I don't know. I apologize. I don't know how to say the last name. But that's the book we read. First of all, look at that amazing cover. Hopefully you can see it. It is amazing. We noticed the cover for book 4 that just recently came out, and that's what really caught our attention. So then we started looking into the series a little bit more, loved the covers of all of them, so decided to give it a go for this month. It is a shorter read. It's only like 250 pages, something along those lines, and it's really interesting. So the thing that really caught me is just the first 3 lines on there, is that the Roman Empire never fell, the gods are real, and ships are alive. So I was very intrigued by just those 3 lines alone. I was like, okay, that sounds very interesting, very entertaining, and made me really curious and want to read more. First of all, I really loved the world. Like, it's our world. It's kind of a historical fiction, but it is in the fact that the Roman Empire didn't fall. And it plays on a lot of those myths and legends and beliefs of those cultures, as they're all kind of interwoven in a really interesting way. So we had the Roman mythology that really played a huge part into it, as well as the Greek, and you can see some Egyptian in there as well. And that was one of my favorite parts through the whole book, is the subtle hints and belief systems of what the author wove in there, talking about all these different cultures as they went along and how it kind of added to this world and the history that it was. And so that world just really built up, and it's still built on the naval side of things, that ships are a critical piece of this world and how they get around. And this is another thing that I love, and I heard some similarities. I have not read The Live Ship Traders, and a lot of people say the ships are alive in that one as well. So it does make me more interested, almost intrigued to jump back, trying Robin Hobb again. I probably have to reread from the very beginning again. It's been a few years since I read that. And so if Terry is watching this, I'm sure he will be yelling at me, trying to get my attention, encouraging me to do so. So I haven't read The Live Ship Traders, but this one does have living ships. What was interesting to me is that you can tell that it's a magic, and it doesn't delve into it too deep, but it takes like living girls that have this affinity for magic, and they are able to transform themselves into a ship. And it sounds like they can kind of switch ships as they go along, but they can live hundreds of years by doing this, and they become the ship itself. They're kind of this wooden construct, but then they can flow through the ship and go that way, which was one of my favorite parts of the book. Mainly focuses on the one main character of Maya Abella, as she goes through this school in order to become a ship. And I found it very interesting, and I liked a lot of the ideas of it once we were in the school, and as she interacts with her fellow students as well as the teacher and what they're learning through all of that. I will say that this book it is very, very fast paced, and I felt like parts of it were very rushed. From the get-go, you're kind of thrown into it, and some events happen, and you're just jumping from one event to the next, and time is flowing extremely quickly. And you can tell that the author had a goal in mind, and that was my one biggest complaint, is we have this beautiful world, great ideas, and I just felt like it was a little bit too too rushed for me. That we weren't able to really find out more about all of this and the worlds and everything going on. The mystery and the main bad guy start to come into play towards the end, and you can tell that they're building up to something through this whole series. I'm not sure how many books it's supposed to be, at least 4. And I don't think any of them are very long. Which that was the one thing that I think we all had in common, is we all felt like it was very rushed, but loved the ideas that were presented through the novel. I'm going over. I enjoyed the majority of the characters. I did think that as we started jumping through a lot of the different POVs towards the end of the novel, once again, the brevity of the novel is what really hurt the book, as you're just not able to spend a lot of time with it, and we're jumping through lots of time and advancing extremely quickly. And I felt like just a little bit more dialogue, a little bit more building of the suspense and things like that would have really taken this book up a notch and made it even more enjoyable than it was. All that being said, I still enjoyed my time in this novel, and I read it very quickly. I found a lot of the ideas fun and entertaining and interesting, and constantly was on the lookout for all the ways that the author kind of played a twist on the different mythologies and belief systems through the novel, as well as they kind of wove this false past all together, making it a very unique world and unique reading experience. So I encourage everybody to pick it up, especially if you enjoy living ships, you enjoy Greek, Roman, or Roman mythology. This will play heavily into that. Naval fantasy is also a big piece. The one thing I will say about the naval thing and the living ships and their ability to communicate with the captain in those ships in training, we'll say, was through this wooden earring, and they were able to like project their minds and connect through the entire ship and feeling all the creaks and the bows and all of this different effects that way. Made it a lot of fun to read, and I really enjoyed that idea that they were able to communicate with the ship itself and feel it and know exactly what was going on through the entire thing. You guys are intrigued as I was reading it, and that you give it a try. I know I will be continuing this series just to find out if it continues to enrich and build upon those things that I liked. I gave it 3.5 stars overall, and rounded up to 4 for Goodreads. And we'll definitely be continuing the series, as it did entertain me enough and interested me enough to know more about what was going. So I'm going to at least give it another shot for book 2 and see if it keeps building up on those things that I really enjoyed through this novel. Anyway, have you guys read this? I'd love to see your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Did you have a similar experience that I had? Did you enjoy it more, less, what have you? I love hearing from you guys. I appreciate every single one of you that tune into my videos and listen to me ramble about books, the thing that I love, and I enjoy doing this quite a bit. So if you can give me a like, subscribe, tell your friends to do the same, I'd greatly appreciate it. That's the end of my YouTube yabber jabber. As always, thank you guys for watching, happy reading, and stay great.